And we're live.
No.
Hi.
Hello.
Ah, yes. Okay. Fun. It's here. It's the first discussion for
Yeah.
the Broken Earth Along, which is super fun. And we have some people joining us. So if you're joining us, please let us know if
Please
you read a
wave.
book
All
and
unmuted can know
wave
us.
and all that. Yeah. Cool. So we will also do like a non-spoilery discussion first. So if you have not read the book and are just intrigued or like curious about our thoughts and things like that, let us know. And yeah, you can still stay on and listen. And then a bit more into the discussion and the live show, we will start talking spoilers, but we'll mention when we get to that. So you can participate whether you've read the book or not, basically.
What are you doing?
Do you have a visitor?
Oh,
Nice.
I love cats. Oh.
Luna's here. Luna's here is a I don't know, a menace probably.
Cute. We have
Hello.
Sasha.
Yay.
Hey,
Yay.
Sasha. We have Kat. Hello.
Yay.
Hi.
Wow.
Hello.
Nice.
Don't mind me. I'm just moving stuff around for a little bit.
Trying to get the best angle.
Yeah, I just want to sit back in my chair, but otherwise I'll just be, like so far away.
We can see you still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
So you
At least this is more
need to guide me
comfortable.
how we should approach this because I've never done one of these live discussion things. So
Well, I think the first thing might be like how many stars did we give it, and overall, what was the reason for that?
Yeah. Sure. Okay. Shall I start?
So
or
who?
should-
Yes,
Go
start.
ahead.
So I finished reading the book yesterday, and I ended up giving it 3 stars. And let's see, just like a very simplified reasoning for that is basically I enjoyed it. I am very intrigued by the story, but I did not love it, and I did not feel like it. There wasn't really any action in this book. Not that much happened. It's a lot of world building, and it's a lot of build up for the future books, I think. So like I am intrigued, I am enjoying it, I want to continue with the series, but it's not something that like grabbed me and held my heart or anything like that, basically.
Yes, understandable.
Yeah.
I will go next because I'm the next in the. Okay.
Exactly.
So I finished reading it, I think, a few days ago. I gave it also 3 stars. My opinions are pretty similar with Charlotte because I liked it. I didn't love it. I am intrigued to keep reading it, but I didn't felt this feeling of wow, I'm loving it. I just want to keep reading and like the best thing that I read. I think that the thing that I loved the most was the fantasy element and the magic system. I found it really, really unique and different from other things that I read. I don't want to say like too much about spoilery stuff. I really appreciate what the book has done and what like the end was, but I have mixed opinions like from my personal feeling and how I'm feeling about the characters. Like the book is about 3 POVs, and I feel like I didn't connect to all of the POVs, and the POV that I like the most, I saw the list. So I just feel like it felt to me more of a chore to read it and not really sitting with a book and enjoying it because it was really packed. And by the way, I read it and listened to the audiobook at the same time because it's adult fantasy and I heard that it's really, really confusing. So it really helped me to be less confused about everything. Yes, I just feel that it was just like a chore to read it a little bit. Like you need to be really concentrate and like to really try to understand everything, and it wasn't as enjoyable as I wanted. And like it's so hyped up, so of course I expected so much more. So it's like overall 3 stars. I'm really intrigued to keep reading. I really hope the rest will be better, but the first one wasn't really wasn't it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Sorry, I didn't laugh about you, but Luna actually just rolled off the bed, so sorry.
Don't worry, don't think.
I think I'm the one with the unpopular opinion because I gave it 2 stars and I didn't really enjoy it. I think the second person perspective really is something that I just don't like. It I don't know, it feels a bit like fan fiction to me, and even though fan fiction is fine and I read that from time to time as well, more often than I should probably, I didn't really enjoy those point of views. Also in general, I feel like the story just didn't really grip me. I was very confused most of the book, and then the ending was, I don't know, it was kind of predictable to me. So it definitely felt like a chore reading it, and I really didn't have fun. And the more I reflect on it, because I think I finished it somewhere around like the 20th, the more I think about it, the less I am interested in reading. And I also feel like I don't get the point of the book. Like, with every other book, every single fantasy book, there's this big evil that has to be faced, or this like they have to save someone, or I don't know, I felt like I'm just missing the point. But that might just be me. So yeah, I didn't really enjoy it. I will try the second book, but if it really just keeps on this way, I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I was right on time as always. I literally finished this book an hour ago. And I'm still mulling everything over. I'm not sure how many stars I'm going to give it. I'm just, everything's still swarming around and I just need to process everything. I'm really intrigued by the world, the obelisks and everything. I'm really intrigued by that. I liked 2 out of the 3 perspectives. I liked Damayas and Cyanides, but I didn't really like Essence. And I don't think that's because the you perspective so much as, I don't know, it just felt, I mean, Scribbling Cat just wrote something that I think might actually be the reason. It kind of felt detached. And I think that's why I like that one least, because I felt like you saw everything from a distance. And I think this explains it perfectly. But like I said, I really like the world and the magic and everything. I was very annoyed by the fact that things were happening without then explicitly stating what was happening. It's just what we said like on Twitter. It was, you just kept second guessing yourself, like, is this actually happening or not? At least I felt that way.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many stars I'm going to give it. I did enjoy it. I didn't love it, but I'm leaning towards like 3.5, 4 stars, but I'm not sure yet. Like I said, I just need to process everything a bit more.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be fun to, while we're on the topic, to discuss the second perspective a bit more and in general the writing, because that's something I feel like is what is known about this book. Like we knew about it before we started reading it, and also just the writing itself. So we did get the 2 comments from those that are watching us right now, from Kat regarding her theory why it was second person, and then we also have Sasha, who just mentioned that the you perspective intrigues her and sounds weird and unusual. And for me, I was surprised by how well the second person perspective worked. Actually, I didn't expect it. Like after just a couple of chapters of that, I kind of got used to it and I didn't mind it anymore, which was surprising for me. And like in the beginning, I didn't really see the reason why that decision was made to have that perspective or that point of view in second person. But yeah, like Kat's theory, and with everything that happens in the end, I do think
Hmm.
perhaps that's the reasoning for that.
Mhm.
So like I didn't mind it, and it did not put me off as much as I thought it would, basically. And the writing itself, I thought was very beautiful right from the beginning. It was very confusing from the beginning, especially the prologue. But
Bless you.
There
the
was like
writing,
the first 200 pages were confusing to me,
yeah, like
but
yeah,
like I get what you're saying. Like for me, it wasn't second person that like made me like those chapters least. Like I didn't mind that, but it was
Mhm.
just the feeling of detachment, I suppose, that I didn't get from Demaya and Cyanide's perspectives.
mhm.
I just
Also, I
felt,
think her perspective was the most confusing out of all three of them.
Mhm.
oh, for
Maybe
sure.
that was me, but that
Yeah.
one was
Yeah.
like everything was so confusing, and
Yeah,
there
but I
were
also think
multiple
that
times
is,
where she was like, "Oh, it's like this," and I'm like, "What does that mean?"
Mm.
Mhm.
you know, exactly. That's what I just said to Jane. Like, okay, but what is that? Okay, it
Mhm.
means that, but like, explain it to us puny humans. Like, what is
Mhm.
this?
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my personal opinion about the second person, I actually got used to it really quick. I
Yeah.
think I actually like after I thought about it and finished to read the book, I really appreciate, like, I love when books try to do unique things,
Yeah.
and I appreciate when it actually feels fitting to the vibe of the book. And I do feel like it was really fitting to this writing style and to this story. It didn't feel disconnected to me. It actually felt like a thing of the story and something unique. So I really appreciated that. And again, I got used to it really quick. I didn't love the POV of the second person, like character wise and plot wise. I was really bored from this plot. It started a little bit interesting, but it just got more and more boring. It was really slow paced to me, and I really loved the other POVs and not the Esun POV. Esun is like the
Mm.
new
Yeah.
POV. So I didn't like Esun POV at all. And I don't know, it just felt to me pretty boring. And yes.
Mm. Yeah. You have the second person didn't put me off as much as it has done in other books that have used it. Yeah, I
Mhm.
don't think I've read anything else in second person. I've read like bad fan fiction in second person,
Yeah.
but not real books. So yeah,
Yeah.
but I wasn't put off by it actually, which is
Yes,
No, for
it
me,
felt
it's
fitting.
yeah. For me, it's what Jane said. Like, I didn't mind like the second POV itself, but I just minded Essen basically.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
that was my issue with those chapters, not the fact that it was written in second person.
Mhm.
And I just felt like, just, action wise, like, it's not a very action packed book, but
Mm,
action wise, least action happened in Essence chapters, I feel like.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So,
And yeah, and here we have everything was confusing, but not in a bad way. Just in I hang on, I need to read the other books to understand it all. This is that
Mhm.
like this definitely
yeah.
voices my thoughts about it because, as I said, for me this felt so much more like a build up, and
Hmm.
as Femke is saying, it definitely was not that much action. And I'm someone who loves action in my books. I
Yeah.
love it when it's fast
Mhm.
paced and there's things going on and stuff like that. But I also think like as you continue to read the series, like now we've been introduced to the world, we have been introduced to the characters and just how this world works and all of the themes and such. So I hope and I think that the other books will be able to deliver so much more because
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
now the foundation is set basically.
Mhm.
For me, I
Yes.
think I agree. I generally love action packed books, but I do think this is going to be a book that's going to like stay with me.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That I'm just, going to keep thinking of from time to time. Like, oh, right, just when
Mhm.
when something reminds me of it. I think this is one of those books. I mean, obviously, I don't know. I just finished it an hour ago, so I'm not sure. But to me, it feels like it could be that kind of book, or at least series.
it is. I think it is because I still, still, I mean, I finished it about a week ago, but still, it is something that sort of pops into your head, and
Yeah.
I did really enjoy I really hope that the second book will have a lot more of that. Like you already mentioned as well, like the action
Yeah.
moments. Those were
Yeah.
the only thing. That is what I want to say. I there were some time hops where I was like, I would have liked to see more of the in-between time here. Not going into detail about the plot or anything, but there were huge time hops between the different, like within the different POVs, where I was like, but I wanted to have this actual, I wanted you to actually talk about this and not just hop over 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. She found
I mean, I agree with this.
was confusing.
But at the same time, I also feel like we learned, well, maybe not most, but we learned a lot from these chapters as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I feel like the whole plot was a cyanide plot because the Yamara chapters were really, really like a little bit and pretty short. Like I felt that there were almost none Yamara chapters because I really loved her POV and I wanted to see more. And I
Did
felt
I
like
also stop at some point?
Yeah.
I think about halfway in, you no longer get her. I think.
Yep.
yes, like only in a few chapters and like most of the story and most of the plot because as soon plot like nothing happened there. I feel like most of the things that happened were in cyanide point of view, so it's like logical that it will be the most confusing because the book is confusing.
Yeah, and most of the world building was done in her plot as well because that's when we were told about how the world works and their roles in the society and so on. Like all of that came from Cyanide's perspective, basically, or mainly Cyanide's perspective, at least.
I'm still kind of confused though. Like the entire premise of this book that's on like the back of the book is like, okay, well, the 5th seasons they keep on happening, but this is like the final 5th season. Like the world's not going to recover, but I'm just wondering. I could have missed it, but I'm just wondering, like, how do we know that? Because I can't really remember whether something's been said that determined that this was going to be the last thing ever, except maybe like the final chapter, which obviously
yes, from what I got, like from Cyanide point of view, and like from what happened, it seems like because Cyanide has this power and like everything, she knows that now it's going to be worse. Like it's another thing that it looked because of the power and the fantasy and because the character feels it, but there wasn't an actual reason. Like he just feels it just seems like a lot of clues and things that are different from other seasons in the past. It just like for me felt like the characters felt it in their fantasy magic powers, and because of it they know that it's going to be so much worse. Like just all the people that control the earth know it.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it could definitely be the case, but I just remembered, like, okay, but they said like this is the final one, like the Earth's not going to heal. But I also remember at some point in this book they say, well, I mean, it's going to last centuries, but I'm like, but that doesn't mean it's not going to heal again at some point. I mean, obviously,
doesn't it also mention that at certain places around this world that people have recovered from every single season they've encountered?
Exactly. So I was just wondering, like, was it ever like explicitly said in the book that this was like the end, like the Earth is not going to recover?
Because I don't remember, honestly.
I don't think so. And I was like, that's like the entire thing, right?
Yes, it's like the entire summary of the book.
About that. In the prologue.
In the prologue, the character says that it's going to be the end.
Okay,
yeah, that's right. Yes, I feel like there were. It said a lot that this season is going to be like way worse and will last for centuries. And I'm also trying to think if someone said at some point that it's going to be like the end. Because I remember it from the summary, but yes, I'm pretty sure that in the prologue, like I actually understood the prologue pretty good because I listened to the audiobook.
The first sentence is literally, "Let's start with the end of the world. Why don't we?"
Yeah. And also, like, to not spoil, but there's also like the epilogue or almost at the end, there's also like a bit of a cryptic message about basically
no, but like that's what I said, like beside like the final chapter, like okay, so like no spoilers, don't worry, but like the events in the final chapter are what basically means it's going to be the end of the world. So I was just thinking about that, like But the entire premise of this thing is like this is the final 5th season, and like from reading this book, I didn't really get that feeling.
It doesn't
So-
feel like an apocalypse, or like it doesn't feel
No.
final yet. Like it's
Exactly.
every
Exactly.
day.
It just feels like they're still kind of hopeful that, you know, oh well, it's going to be a while, but we're going to come out of this.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I just
mean,
want to say
also
something
kind of
about.
missed. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to, like, I don't want to make any spoilers. I will try to say it. I think that the whole book felt to me like a summary to the end of the world, and that the actual apocalypse and everything will happen in the rest of the books. Like, I was expecting to arrive to the first book and already see all the action and like the everything, but it just felt to me like a summary of what happens that will. Now, I actually looked at the summary again after I read it, and I
Mhm.
realized that the whole book and the whole summary is this is the way the world ends. It like means that they show us how and why the end
Mhm.
started, but it doesn't actually start until the second book. So like
Mm.
also like all the language is talking about this is how it will end, and not what will happen when it will end.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it was summary for the end of the world.
True. Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. What did we think of the magic system and all of
Oh,
that?
that's really intriguing, honestly.
I
I
love
think it's
the magic
very
system.
interesting.
I
Very
just feel like
unique.
we know too little of it at this
That
point. I
too.
just want to
Yeah,
know more.
Definitely. Mhm.
More about
Yeah.
the house. Like, how does it work? How is it determined who becomes an orogene? Is that how
Yes,
it
I
is?
felt like we
Origin.
know that there is people with this power, but we don't know why and where this power comes from.
Exactly. I just want to know more. Like, how does it work? How is it determined who gets how much power? Basically, that kind of questions.
Yeah, no, I agree. I also really liked the magic system and how it's like
Mhm.
connected to Earth, and you draw energy and you can feel like the vibrations and use a lot of things
I
like that.
also
That's
really love how
really
it's just rooted in physics and what is it,
Yes,
geology?
yeah.
Like
it
this
was so
has
scientifically logical. I
exactly.
loved it. Mhm.
It's not just random. Like, well, if I do this, the wind's going to blow. Basically, like there's actual scientific
Mhm.
like reasonings behind how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually I liked the first book and I gave it 3 stars, but I do have high hopes for the rest because I do feel like from here there is potential to be so much better. And
Yeah.
yes, I'm really intrigued to see what is going to happen after what we found out in the end and how this is like going to play.
Yeah.
Another discussion point I wanted to have is to discuss a bit about the themes in the book, because I do feel like it does make a lot of commentary on society and also the environment. So we
For
have,
sure.
if you look at society first, we have like how these people with magical skills, how they are being treated compared to others, and like the difference between them, and who gets to rule over who, and who gets to decide what they do, and some are basically treated as slaves and similar. And I thought that it's like it's not subtle, but it's
No, it's an
great
obvious
way of
commentary
showing.
on issues in the world such as racism and like obviously with climate
Exactly.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because that's also like just to talk about seasons relates a lot to just like the environment and climate change.
Yeah.
So
Yes, so actually, like, I really loved the whole theme of the racism and everything around it, but it wasn't something that I didn't saw in other books before because I do feel like a lot of books explore this theme, but I was so intrigued and so like I really loved the theme of the planet and like the environment, and especially in the end, we learned even more why, why it happened and about the environment. Like I wish that we knew more in the beginning, because I feel that only in the end I actually realized that there is a theme that like save a world theme. I really
Yeah.
really loved it. I think it was done really well, and like it's pretty unique. I really love how the whole magic system is like around it, and around how like people ruined the world. I really loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's also even like a quote in the like closer to the end of the book. Once again, not spoiler, but just a commentary on the environment, about how it just says, the quote is, "Then people began to do horrible things to Father Earth. They poisoned the waters beyond and even his ability to cleanse. They killed much of the other life that lived on the surface, so and so on." So
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like,
just basically us
yeah, that's us now.
like, in our generation using nuclear weapons and toxic waste and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even subtle, but
No. It's right there in
it's
your face.
yeah, exactly. And I feel like I mean, to say I like it is not the right word, but I just think it's very interesting, and it's also, I think, an eye opener for us to read from the person who is being discriminated against.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, for us as white people, we don't really get
Yeah, you don't
we
recognize
definitely
it.
don't get racism, but
Mhm.
those kinds of things. And I just feel like it's such a good thing to also well, not experience it, but to read about someone from the other side, essentially.
Yeah.
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 Like
No,
you said, it
definitely.
opens your eyes, not just to
Exactly.
the environmental aspect. Okay, lunar grays. To the environmental aspect of it. What?
Yeah, I just think it's like both sides, like
Sorry.
both racism and the environment.
Yeah,
I think it's
both of
it's an
them.
eye opener for both of these themes.
Also
Mm.
very
Mhm.
relevant. Like, I think,
Yeah.
I mean, it says on my book that's the winner of the Hugo Award in 2016, and even
Yeah.
back then it was already such a relevant topic, and like both of them are relevant themes, and I feel like
Yeah.
a
Mhm.
lot more people should know what it's like and what we're doing to the world. So I really think that it to this day is a very important book, even
Yeah.
though it
Yeah.
is fiction.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
here we get the fact that they call the past generations of humans that made the earth that way is dead sieve, and to not do things like us was interesting as a commentary. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then also a comment about just how people were being treated.
Oh,
Yeah.
I found this so
Yeah.
horrible to read. I was
Yeah.
absolutely horrified.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
was-
I read it and
It's
I was like,
it's like so bad. It's like one of the darkest parts of the book, I think, in that
yeah.
sense. And in
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
sense, it was also one of my favorite parts in that it just evoked the most out of me in that sense. Like, obviously it's like, oh yay, this is so much fun. I mean, obviously not in that way, but just it really hit me. um
Yeah, it's similar to the Poppy War in that aspect. Like the Poppy
yeah,
War is a really good book, but it's not a fun book. Like it's a
No.
very
Yeah.
heart gripping book, and
No.
like I mean, I think it's
Time to read the Poppy War already.
logic, logically speaking, it is Wow, what did I want to say? It's logical that it is the hardest bits that sort of stick with you, but those are usually not the parts that are nicest to read.
Yeah.
If that
yeah,
makes sense.
because it just feels wrong to say like, oh, I like that
Yeah,
part of the book best. Like, no, I didn't like
it was
it
the most
in that
important
sense.
part of the book. Then
Yeah,
probably.
it
Yeah.
just,
Mhm.
like I said, it evoked like the most emotion reaction out of me.
Yeah.
And for
Mhm.
that, I like it the most. But it's not like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly
Mhm.
this.
Yeah. No, it's as Mo was saying, it's those parts that usually sticks and stand out. And that scene in the book was an eye opener for both the characters, because they all had a obvious reaction to that, but also to us
Yeah.
as the readers, that, oh,
yeah. And
this
I
is how
also,
bad it
I
is.
just, for me, it was kind of unexpected at that point because I felt like at that point we weren't really sure like how explicit the book was going to be in, detailing horrific
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
basically. And I mean, it was pretty explicit in in the horrors that had been, that had happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I felt like that really established, like, okay, this is not going to be like a fun and easy book in that sense. It's going to be much more heavy.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a dark book.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely a dark book. Yes, like I loved the theme and the feel of the book. I just feel like plot-wise, I was pretty disappointment from it. I really loved like again the magic system and what is behind the plot and like what is the point. But I felt like again the plot was like just summary. I felt like we are not even started the actual plot, so
No, exactly.
yeah.
No, I kind of felt like this was like the prelude or the prequel to the actual story.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, like we're here.
Sorry. Also, as you also already said, Femke, like the obelisks and stuff, those are so interesting. And I want to know a lot more as well about the stone eaters.
Yes,
like
definitely.
I am so confused. Like, what is this?
Yeah. Yes, I also can't understand like what.
And like in the book itself, I was like so confused. Like, stone eaters? Did we talk about stone eaters before? I was like, what's a stone eater?
Yeah, I think I marked in my book the first time it was mentioned. Like, what's this?
Yeah, I just feel like it's just mentioned in such a way that kind of feels like you should already know it, but obviously you don't because it hasn't been talked about. And that's what I felt like for so much of the book. And I was like, did I just completely miss this, or has this not been mentioned yet? Like, is it me or is it the book?
But it's the same thing with the rings. What makes you get one ring? What makes you get two?
I love the part.
Yes, we don't know.
What would happen? What makes you get three? Like, what do you have to do to get four? Because that is something, like I said, I really missed sort of the.
But we kind of learned it, I think.
Because we knew that they need to pass a task, like
yeah,
test.
But what?
But we don't.
I want to know these tasks. I want to read.
Yes, we don't know what is actually. Yeah.
But I think some of the things aren't like specific tests. I mean, also with like one of the events, like just doing that, showing that she had that skill at that specific point would have meant, getting more rings. But I don't think it's really set in stone. I feel like it's more kind of like, okay, well, you did this on your own, so you're fit to get another one. I feel like, except for maybe like the first one or the first two, because I feel like that might be, for like school tests, like, I don't know, basic grammar, where you have to just learn, like, you have to do this and this and this and this, and you have to demonstrate that, and then you will have earned your rings. But I feel like past a certain point, it's more, I don't even know what the right word is. It's not intuitive, but it's,
just you do something and then you get to the next level, kind of.
Yeah, but it's not really set in stone what that something is. No. I think it's just to demonstrate that your powers have significantly increased.
Yeah.
And that you have control on your powers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like there's not really. I feel like there's not really like actual like bullet points that you have to hit in order to get the next ring, but it just demonstrating that you have progressed.
But it would have been nice if they said that in the book.
Exactly.
I don't know.
No, but I feel like that with a lot of things. Like, I would have liked
Alabaster. I want to know more about Alabaster. How did he get all 10 rings?
Past, like what? Yeah, definitely.
But I feel like I think it's the point with the book, though, that you're supposed to like. You don't get to know everything at once, and it's not entirely spelled out to you. Like, you need to stay along for the ride in the entire trilogy to actually understand and appreciate it. And I don't think that we will even get the answers for all of our questions by the end of the series.
I'm scared for that as well. I'm really afraid that I'll have some questions that are not answered, and I'll just be here like, no.
I think it would be the point, though. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
No, for sure.
But I'm not good with surprises.
Jane, you were gonna say something.
Yes, I actually wanted to suggest that we go to the spoilery part, because we're already talking like for over half an hour, and I am very, very interested to see what we all think about the end.
So should we say that we're gonna go to the spoiler part now? We'll give everyone like if you don't want to be spoiled or if you haven't read the book or anything, leave now. Basically,
Yeah.
we'll give you a few seconds to do that.
If you
Yeah.
are here for the non-spoilery section but don't want to be here for the spoilers, then thank you for watching so far.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you so much.
Bye, Sasha.
We hope to come back for the
Thank you,
spoilers.
Sasha.
Bye.
Let us know what you think once you actually finish it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 All right. Are we ready
Yes.
to move
For
into
the
spoilers?
Is everyone who does not want spoilers gone?
This is
Yeah.
your final warning.
It's your
We will
fault.
start
now.
spoilers in 10, 9, 8.
Is everyone who's still here okay with spoilers? If so, comment yes.
Raise your hand.
Raise your hand. Do the eyes in the room have it?
This
Yes.
is basically about the last 80 pages.
The twist.
I was
About
expecting
the twist.
some
Yes,
mad
sir.
plot twists from what you'd said, but I basically expected I saw everything coming. I was like, well,
Yeah.
this is not surprising to me.
So regarding the end, when was it that you figured out that here it is, the 3 perspectives were from the same person?
I figured it out after Damaya's perspective.
That side.
Same. When she shows her name.
Yeah.
I keep pointing
Yeah.
the wrong way.
Wait, we have a
I
character with that
actually
name.
had my suspicions before because it was so very vague about like how many years apart these perspectives were set. Because
Yeah.
during Damaya's perspective and during Cyanide's perspective, there was no mention of any 5th
Time.
season happening at all.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I was like, maybe.
Also, before we go into like this bit, is it just like an actual 5th season, as in you had a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th,
Yes.
6th season?
Yeah.
Or
it's
is
No,
kind
I
of
think
first
there is
4
like
is
the
like
4.
summer, spring, autumn, and winter, and the
Yeah.
5th season is basically a catastrophic event. Entire
winter.
climate goes to
Yeah,
shit.
Okay, so
I don't
it's
think
always
that it's
called
like
a 5th season.
yes.
So they
I
could
don't
have had,
think that
100 of
one
these
alone.
5th seasons.
Yeah.
Because that was confusing to me as well. It's like, is this
Yeah,
just the 5th season? Or is it like, yeah, you know what I mean?
No, it's basically
Yes,
like
it doesn't happen after every 4th season. It happens
No.
like every a few years. I don't know, but
Yeah.
they call it the 5th season because it's not one of the summer, winter,
because
fall,
basically the
spring.
entire climate has gone to shit, and there are no seasons because
Fair enough.
ash
Apocalypse.
rains and toxic water and everything's just
People
Yeah,
suck.
because there's even like an appendix with all the different like apocalypses.
There's an
or
appendix?
seasons. They are
There's
quite far
2.
apart.
There's 2 appendices. There's one with
Yes, I didn't read all the a lot of information and things. I
There's,
didn't
No,
read
I
it.
didn't read all of it either, but I just had a look at it, and it is interesting if one wants to know
Yes,
more about the different
I just
seasons.
was so tired. I actually read
My
like
bad.
most of the book in one day. So
Yeah, one of the appendices is the glossary, which I would have liked to know before.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I figured the words out as I was reading, though. I was confused
Yeah,
first because I
Yeah.
thought it was English words that I didn't know was
Yeah,
my
exactly.
first thought, basically.
Yeah.
But then I realized, like, oh wait, this is what the magic people are called.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
I actually listened to the audiobook for about 80%
Yes,
of the
that's
book.
like.
And then I didn't read at the same time as I did. And then I was like, this is not going fast enough. I want to finish this book. So I started reading the actual book and I was like, how is origin spelled? I didn't even realize it was origin because it's spelled like originus or something.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Geon, yes, like
what?
Geon, yeah.
So yeah, now it's
Yes. So I just want to say something about the comment about when Diamaya said that she wanted to be named Cyanide. That's like when I realized, and when I read it, like I just my jaw dropped. I was like for something like 10, 15 minutes, and like in the same time that I realized that they are the same person, I realized that also Esson is the same person. Like for me, it was really just I knew that all of them are the same person once I realized that the Maya was the same person. So yeah.
But even before that, I think that a little bit of Demaya's Cyanite's personality also showed through in Demaya, especially at that part where she wanted to get the people back who stole her clothing. And I was like, this is something that Cyanite would do. So maybe, considering it actually doesn't specify when everything is, and it doesn't show you, that, I was already sort of, like, I wasn't surprised by the time they said that Demaya was actually Cyanite. And at that point, like, same thing, I was like, well, that means there's one perspective then.
Yeah, we talk about the Guardians, though. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yes.
They're an entirely different thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just so stressed out by those people, and they're fictional.
Also, Shava as a person, he's like, I love you very much, but I will break your hand if I have to. Yeah. What?
That relationship between Damaya and her guardian is like, he's the only one who loves me, but I'm also super afraid of him.
Yeah, but at the beginning I was like, oh, he's so sweet. Like, this isn't going to be a bad thing for her. And then I was like, okay, never mind. This is not going to be a good thing.
Damaya was really vulnerable in that part of her life because she was so little and her family didn't accept her. And like they locked her in a barn. So when someone showed her love, also if it's a toxic love, I guess that she just... I actually want like to talk a little bit about the end and the three like the three POVs, because I really appreciate what the end was, and like that the all three POVs are the same person. I really appreciate it and appreciate how it was done. I think it was really unique and something that again was fitting to this kind of story. Didn't feel to me something else, but this is like my subjective opinion. I do, like, as a reader that read, I don't know, something like almost 400 pages of a book without knowing that all the three perspectives are the same person. When I realized, like, again, I was surprised in a good way, but I also was surprised in a bad way because I felt that I really, really didn't love Esun character. I liked a Cyanide character, and I feel like Dayamara, how I say her name, Dayamara chapters were the most impactful to me. Like, those are the only chapters when I read them, I actually felt so much. And when I realized that all of them are the same person, and now it's going to be only the POV that I like disliked the most, I was really sad from it, because again, I do appreciate what the book has done, but like I was emotionally attached to Dayamara, and I really wanted to see more of her chapters and her like plot. And Cyanide was interesting. I liked her way more.
At the same time, I feel like it might be more of a mix between all three from now on, because during like the last chapter or last couple of chapters, from Esen's perspective, you also had like bits of Cyanide shining through. So I feel like it might be more of a, or at least a mix between Cyanide and Esen, and maybe not as much Demaya, because it's been obviously so long since she was that person. But
here we have a point.
Also, there's such a big gap between the ending of Cyanide's chapter and then where you are in Esen's storyline. If you know what I mean.
10 years.
Like, I mean, that's a very long time. I mean, she had 2 kids and she had a husband. I want to know what happened there. How did he betray her? Like, there's still such a gap that I would love to read that from her perspective.
This might have something to do why Esen felt like such a different character, was because she was pretending to be someone else in order to like survive and keep
and
her
also, I mean,
hidden.
What she went through, like killing her own child, is bound to be slightly traumatic, I feel. So it might change a person.
Yeah. Also the time in general, like 10 years changes people. Like, imagine yourself now and imagine yourself 10 years ago and you'll be a completely different person.
And especially
maybe like, not completely different, but at least different.
Like the last chapter from Cyanide's perspective gave us a little bit of a summary what happened in those 10 years. So, you know, them floating in the water, her being picked up, her wandering for like, oh, we lost Charlotte.
You're back? I'm here.
Your screen just, for me at least,
Oh.
went like the
Oh.
spinning wheel of death.
I'm here.
So
Oh,
now
No, for me,
Esme's gone.
actually.
but I'm here.
Maybe
I see
you're-
everyone.
yes, like I see everyone. I
Can
don't
you
see
still
any
see me?
interruptions.
I can see you now. I'm so stressed because like two of you went away for like right after each other. I was like, no.
We won't.
But yeah,
just-
like I
You're
was
never
saying,
getting rid
like,
of me anyway, so I mean, you should
Well-
know this at this point.
but it was like, you know, we got kind of a summary of what had happened, you know, like her wandering for like 2 years and kind of finding herself again and settling. So I feel like those 10 years weren't really, they were kind of an interlude in her life. They weren't really formative for her up
Mhm.
until
Yeah.
the point where her husband decided to kill their son.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
So
did the husband actually kill her son? I
yeah,
thought it was an accident.
well,
He killed
that's
her.
Whoops.
Mhm.
yeah.
Killed the son and took the daughter.
Sorry.
It's like killed him on purpose because he was like a origin. How
Right.
do
Yeah,
I
well,
say
I
it?
did read
And
that.
then he
We don't
kidnapped
really
the
know.
daughter, and we don't know
That's
like if he knows.
that's a theory. We don't know that because we haven't actually seen him, but that's what they think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
That's the conclusion that if the father found or her husband found out that she was an origin, and because of that their kids were origins, and
yeah,
he
Mhm.
was against that, so that's why he killed. That's the theory.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. We don't know because we haven't met this man.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a very logical explanation or something.
Yeah.
Maybe it was one of those stone eater people that I don't
Maybe he
know
was the
Might be a
guardian.
influence. We don't know.
Yeah.
For a minute, I literally at the end when sort of the stone eater dragged Alabaster through the stone, I was like, did somebody just chop off his legs and his arms? And then I quickly on realizing, oh no, the stone eater is actually dragging him through stone. But I literally thought that he was, I don't know, decapitated or something.
I agree with this. I don't trust him.
I don't remember who this is.
Yeah.
Yes. me
The
The
neither.
doctor from the village, I
I
think.
think it's Lurna or something who's like in the village and then suddenly pops
Oh,
up
yeah,
in
yeah,
the village at the end
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Yeah. Another character I find really intriguing is
Hoa.
Hoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who?
Mhm.
I want to know more
Hoa
about
and
Hoa.
Tonka. Tinka,
Mhm.
Tika,
Tonki?
something? Tonki?
Tonki?
Yeah, it's Tonki.
Mhm.
Wait, that's
Just
the
remember
girl
one
who she met while she was
Yeah.
at Fulcrum,
Yeah.
right?
But I think
Who followed her entire life, which is not creepy at all.
also I think this person
Not at all.
is gender fluid, I think.
Yeah, seems
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The representation of like
Really well done.
this was
Yeah.
really amazing. I heard it like
Queer, gender
also before I
fluid,
read the book.
gender non-conformative, all of
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Really nice.
You guys have convinced me. I'm upping my rating for 3 stars.
That's the thing though, like we're sitting here right now, we're praising the book, and I really appreciate
Yeah.
the book in so many ways because of its themes and because how complex it is and its representation and such.
Yeah, but
The
while
the
reading
reasoning
it,
for my stars is mainly just like, once again, I like fast paced, I like action packed, I didn't have that love for it yet, but like the book itself is definitely worth a read. I feel like there's so many good things about it, so it's more on a enjoyment scale. Like I didn't connect to the characters and stuff like that, which is knocking down the stars. But otherwise,
Yeah.
like it is a great read.
yeah.
I mean, this could also be true.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
Mhm.
thought it was trans, but
I mean,
it's not explicitly said, so
no.
like
The
some
reason why
reasons
I
in
thought
body book.
gender fluid was because I think at one point like Tonki is really okay with their body, if that makes sense. Like they're washing and it's just like, oh, let everything hang loose. So I thought that, I mean, maybe that's why I thought that it was more gender fluid, but I mean it could definitely also be trans. I don't know.
yeah.
Because I think when Essen actually sees them, I'm not sure what their pronouns are, of course. They kind of don't look that sort of distinguishable one gender
No.
Mhm.
on the outside, I think.
Right.
I mean,
Mhm.
they did when they were children, but not, I think, later on.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
what Lauren said, like it's not explicitly said. I feel like that applies for most of the book.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that it
Yes.
applies for this as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like nothing is basically assumed, or you can't really assume anything because, or you need to assume. Like things are not explicitly told on any
Yeah.
level,
Yeah.
either if it's like someone's gender or if it's about the magic system or the characters. So it's kind of this bit of a guessing game that I.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It was really nice to have this as it didn't feel like it was included to just have inclusion. The way
No.
it was so casually done that I really
Mhm.
appreciate that. Like it's just another thing in life, which it
Yeah.
is.
But
And I
I also
really
Yeah.
liked how casual it was in that
And on
sense.
multiple occasions, it's not just once that it happened,
Yeah.
or there was
No.
a moment when a character was represented in such a way. It
No, I
Yeah,
feel
it
like
was
the same
multiple
for
times.
the polyamorous relationship.
yeah,
Mhm.
that too is interesting,
So
right?
casually done.
Exactly. I was
What
honestly
a thing.
so not confused in a bad way, but I was like, because it felt so normal to them, I was confused
Yeah.
because obviously in our world it's not
Yeah.
ingrained, it's not normal.
Yeah.
And to them it
No.
felt normal, so I was so confused, like,
It's not
wait,
seen as normal, yeah.
is this normal in this world? Is like, is this
Mhm.
okay? And like, great, perfect. But I was like,
Yes, it felt so natural.
yeah.
I'm
But
like
I
Really
was
appreciated that.
confused by how natural it felt in the world. Like that's
the,
what
Mhm.
confused me.
yeah,
Like
the
not
Islanders though, they were like there was something a comment about them being upset with her that she were sleeping with the two hottest guys or something like that.
Wasn't
But
that
Mhm.
is it
admiration more
jealousy
than
or is it
anything?
because it's weird? I don't know.
Yes, I
I
think
think
it
it
was
was
more
more
on
admiration.
admiration.
Like, oh,
Mhm.
she's sleeping with like the entire island wants to sleep with two people and she got both. I think it
Typical.
was more like that.
Don't you just hate
Mhm.
those people?
I feel like it could be both. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
could, it
Yeah,
could be like,
jealousy.
and I feel like envy might be the correct word. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
admiration with a touch of jealousy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just curious in general, like regarding the ending. Did you enjoy it? Are you happy with the twists and turns and like how it ended and where it's continuing from, or like what are your thoughts about that? Like,
I'm honestly mostly
I personally
confused.
liked the twist.
Yeah, I like the twist. I was honestly most confused about what Alabaster did, which made him, have his buddy
Yeah,
go away. That kind of confused me.
I feel like he
mean,
might have been in stone for a long time. Because he's been sort of like it's almost as if he's been
for sure.
petrified. Yeah.
that was a funny comment. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes,
We
definitely.
need all the spice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, but yeah, I'm just so confused because I feel like the Stone Eater, like what was she called? Anemone, I think. Antimony.
Yeah.
I feel like she might have fixed him to the to the extent she's able to, but that it's not enough to save him because he did some shit that was not very good for him.
Mm.
And she tried to fix him as much as he could so he could talk to Essen.
Yeah.
Probably.
I feel like, but I'm not sure.
I'm sorry if you can
Yes, I
hear the
also
rain.
was pretty confused from this thing, but I feel like I do have a little bit less popular opinion because I subjectively love the end, but like emotionally, I'm not sure. Like, you're gonna really appreciate what the end done. I think like my only concern is that I'm not sure how it's going to be from now on. Like, you're gonna have really high hopes for the second book, and I really hope to love it so much more. But I'm really, really afraid from how it will be done. Like, we will have only one POV now. What the whole POV will be like a second person. I'm not sure what is going to be from now.
Yeah.
So like I'm really concerned about it. And yes, like I loved the plot, the end. I love the plot itself. Just the whole thing that the three POVs are the same person. I still have mixed feelings about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get that. I mean, I do get that.
Alabaster has me very intrigued as
Yeah,
well as why the
same.
Stone Eaters are standoffish with each other. Like this song.
Yeah.
That scene.
There was another scene as well when Essen and the group arrived, I think, where Hoa was looking at this other woman.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Red-haired
It's
woman.
almost territorial.
Yeah. There's
Yes.
something going on with that.
Mhm.
should we do like, what do we think will happen in future books?
Okay,
Like, do we have any
so-
predictions or expectations? Yeah, okay.
Fun fact, I just checked. We have multiple POVs in a second one as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
But it's, I
Okay.
mean, it's not Demaya and Cyanide
Yes,
and Essen anymore.
course.
And we still get the U perspective. So just,
I'm used to it
There.
now.
Maybe I'll get used to it after another book. Like, I'm at least gonna try. The thing is, it's
Yeah.
like I am like when I finished the book, I was like, well, what I just read a prequel of 450 pages,
Yes, it
Which
felt
I
to me
think-
also like this.
which I think got me like. That's why I was like, well, this was just
Annoyed.
like the most interesting scene in the entire book is what was her name? I can't pronounce her name.
Cyanide?
Cyanide?
Cyanide, yeah, sorry. Cyanide raising that
Obelisk.
obelisk
Yeah.
from the port town. That was the most interesting thing. And it was like
That
she
was
can
cool.
actually connect to these things. It's like I have high hopes considering the second book is actually called The Obelisk Gate, but still.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
we
I also
talked about
think
that.
so.
What was the Stone Eater doing inside the obelisk? Like,
That
are all
is
the
so
Stone Eaters
interesting.
in
I
the
want to know that.
obelisk?
I feel like
I don't know.
maybe all obelisks are at some point sort of controlled by a stone eater. I don't know.
I don't know.
Also,
like,
did they
was
get
it-
the dead stone eater out of it? Or
Hmm.
did they just let him turn into more stone?
I don't know, but the obelisk that she raised from the water eradicated. What was the city called? Alia?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like
Mhm.
that. The port town thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
her connecting with that broken obelisk, which might be broken because the Stone Eater was in it, or despite the Stone Eater in it. I'm not sure because I'm not
I
sure
mean,
whether the Stone
as
Eater
everything with the
belongs
book, it's
in-
not specific.
I don't
Yes.
know, but I feel like the obelisk was destroyed along with the town because obelisk went boom, and town
Mhm.
went boom along with obelisk.
When-
Also, why did the Guardian go boom? Like, why did this Guardian attack Alabaster and Cyanide? Why? Like, why?
I don't know. Also,
I think that like guardians
also-
maybe are used that they have power over organs because they like control and they deciding.
this is what I was going to talk about. Like the socket in Fulcrum.
Yes,
Did the
Yes.
Guardians make the obelisks? Because I mean, obviously, some Guardians know about the whole.
Yeah. Or did
And
or
what
was it
happened?
sort
What
of a
happened to
cause
the
and effect
Guardian
of his
that Shafar
origin?
killed?
Yeah,
What happened to
I feel like they
what?
might have been maybe this Guardian was actually so influenced by the obelisk that they started doing weird shit. Like maybe these obelisks are actually sort of entities, just as the Stone Eaters are, and
Mhm.
these obelisks maybe there is sort of the reason why certain things turn the way they do. I don't know.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
But why are the obelisks made out of different materials? Because we have one that was made out of amethyst, and there was one that was, I believe, like garnets. Oh,
Will the
I
second
feel
book
like
answer more than half of them?
more questions.
We'll get more questions and no answers.
Maybe
We'll
I
some.
think we will
answers,
get
but
answers,
no more
but
questions.
not everything, and we will
Yeah.
get so much more questions.
I feel like we might get some answers, but we will get more questions than we get answers.
Yeah,
like more
exactly.
extra
Definitely.
questions.
Exactly this. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Less than half and then unraveling the third.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I hope we at least get answers to most questions. But I'm kind of
Yes, I
scared.
really
Otherwise,
hope
we'll
so.
just be left wondering, and then we're here like texting NK Jemisin, like, please read a fourth book. We need answers.
Do you
Yeah,
have
so
any like what do you think will happen in the second book then? Like what themes will be explored, what characters will be in focus? Any
I just want
ideas at all?
action and death and decay, honestly.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Like I'm so
I'm just
usually I do think like what is going to happen, but I literally have no idea. Like I guess the world is going to end, so like something is going to be way worse. Like I guess that also going in the world, it won't be just going to comms and getting water and everything. Maybe it
Yeah.
will be like before I started to read the book, when I know that this is a post-apocalyptic book. When I was in high school, one of my most favorite trilogies was a post-apocalyptic, and it touched a lot about surviving and about humanity. So I really wanted to see those themes in the book. And like there was a lot of themes of surviving, obviously, but not like it didn't feel to me like they all know that they are going to die right now. I don't know. It just, I guess it will talk more about themes of survival and maybe humanity, and like the world is actually like most of it going to end, I guess. So it will be so much more harder to get food and drink and like to see people. I don't know.
I also think we will get more world building, that we will learn hopefully more about the stone eaters and also the obelisks. I
Mhm.
think that's my guess, at least.
Yeah,
Most
I just
of them.
quickly read the synopsis and I'm kind of scared now.
Yeah,
Oh no.
I'm going
I'm
to
doing
read
this
it too.
now.
I just know that she's gonna continue to look for her daughter. That's all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But
I
I
just want to
mean,
know more about the Stone Eaters.
yeah. And the obelisks.
Yes.
And honestly,
I mean, it's
even
called the
Guardian.
Obelisk Gate.
Exactly.
Yeah, what gate? Gate
Is
to
is
where?
the obelisk in the port? That's my
Yes, I
question.
guess we will know more about the obelisks because the name of the book is like Obelisk Gate. But
Also, how
like
many
that's what I
obelisks
hope.
are there?
Yes, it seems like the obelisks are everywhere, but we don't know. Like from what I got from the description, it just seems like they're in every place there is an obelisk, but how much like you're going to see in hundreds in the sky? I'm not sure how it works.
Yeah, because they made the obelisks in the socket. But
Yeah.
what did they
Okay.
make them for? What was their original purpose? What happened? Like, is their purpose different now? What happened? I just want to
Maybe
know.
Good
it's
question.
something along the lines of like maybe this is far fetched and like it's not connected in any way, but it kind of feels a bit like the divine beasts in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild who have been corrupted. Like they started out as this thing to protect humanity or protect something good, but they have been at some point corrupted and are now actually working against what they are supposed to protect.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Maybe.
Might be
Yeah.
complete and
Like that.
other like bullshit, but
No,
maybe.
I think it's actually a really logical explanation. Like, I saw a lot of things like this happen in books in the past. It's like just psychological. Like, I feel that it happens in the world once someone has power, he changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, I know the theme of someone has power really well because I learned a lot about World War II because where I live. So yes, like I was in a trip to Poland and everything and saw what happened and war in the
Yeah.
camps. So like it just happens when someone has power. So I feel like the Guardians are a really good example for it. And it's like
Yeah.
very, very logical to me that we're going to understand it in the rest of the story because it just happened. Someone has power, and like the Guardians had so much power over people that already have a lot of power. So it just made their power be even stronger.
Yeah, and I feel like having a lot of power makes people want more power.
Yeah.
And like I feel like this could also be like an exploration of to what lengths people will go to obtain that extra power.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the same with like rich people. Like rich
Yes,
people will
I
always
actually
want
wanted,
more.
like, I
Yeah.
thought about it. It's also with money. Like,
Yeah.
people always will want more money, not matter how much money they have. Like,
Yeah.
it's never enough. Humanity always wants more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like that. Cool. The Guardians will go far, I think. Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
curious to learn more about them. And their implants. That's
if
I
what
want
Maybe
them
we
to
will
suffer.
follow a guardian. Like,
I want
if you
them
say,
to suffer.
I mean, I could tell you because I saw which POVs we're going to get,
is it Shafa?
Probably
Yes.
Shafa. Oh,
but it's
no.
only a few chapters. It's on. We'll get chapters from Nassen's perspective, so Essen's daughter.
yes, I
We'll get
see.
chapters from Essen, and then a couple of chapters from Shafa.
Yes, I don't see more chapters here.
We
There's
shall
like,
see.
I think. Let me see.
We get chapters of Nason.
Yeah.
She's the daughter of Esson. So
Yeah.
she they have to like really similar names, but we are getting POVs of the daughter. This is
Yeah.
very interesting because like from what I think, she also is an origin. So she always also has powers, and she's pretty small. Like I'm not sure, but 7 years old, 8 years
8.
old, something like
She's
this.
8.
8. So like it's. I'm thinking maybe we will get another Diamara feel like POV because I really loved to see like the world and everything from eyes of. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it
Yeah.
will.
Yeah. Yes,
Because
I'm
I
really
can't
interested.
imagine
Like
being
to...
inside his head will make me like him more.
We don't know. Maybe it will.
As
Yeah,
long
I'm
as he's
actually excited about the second book now. I want to know more.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I want
Me
more.
definitely. Mm-hmm.
I
Yes,
want
I
to
also like
understand.
I'm already thinking when to read it. Like again, I was from the start. I said it. I'm really intrigued to keep reading. I just feel like there was so many things in the book that were frustrating to me and unsatisfying to me, and that's why I didn't enjoy it. But like I enjoyed it, I just didn't love it. But
Yeah.
again, it just felt to me like a prequel. So
Yeah.
maybe once the plot will actually start going, it will be much
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, my thoughts are similar.
Yeah, me too.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm just going to rate the book now because I think I know.
Which
What is it?
rating?
I'm going to do 4 stars because I
Ooh,
do really like it.
Mm-hmm.
nice.
It's like
Yeah.
375, so I round it up. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
a full 4 stars, but I feel like
Yeah.
just talking about it, it intrigues me enough. Like
Mm-hmm.
I liked it enough to give it those 4 stars because I do feel like it deserves it. Because even if at the moment that I read it, I didn't love it and I was so frustrated,
Mm.
it just like I want to know more, and if I want to know more, like it has to be a pretty good book, basically.
Mm.
Yeah. Yes, it was really unique and different, and like it had a lot. And maybe the execution weren't the best, like in terms of get you understand everything, but it was so interesting, and like we all agreed that the magic system and like what happens is very very intriguing. So yes, like I really want to pick the second book. Usually it takes me a lot of time to pick second books of a series, but I really want to. So yeah.
Yeah, for me it was like a high 3-star, like almost 3.5 basically.
Yeah.
Yes, I also like I feel like because I was pretty scared of what will happen. I just felt like I really didn't like Esun POV. And then when I found out that everything is going to be only horror, it was really disappointment from it. Like again, on emotional level, I really appreciate it, but I was pretty like it was pretty sad for me. But I do think it was a really good direction to the story, and I really glad that this is like direction the story took, and I'm really interested.
Cool. We have some
Yeah.
comments.
Yeah, I mean, I already upped it from a 2 to a 3.
Ooh,
I mean,
love that.
plot
That's
twist,
good.
if it's Alabaster who, controls the Guardians. I'm sure that's
That
not
would
the
be
case.
funny, though. That
I think
would be funny.
that's interesting in itself how powerful Alabaster is with his 10 rings.
Yeah.
And he's still a slave to
Yeah.
the Guardians and the society and all of that, even though he
Mhm.
could ruin them all if it just like
Like from what
Yeah.
I think will happen, like he's the reason the world is ending. So like he's that powerful to end the world. So yes, it's like he still was a slave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's fun. Cool. Do we have any other
I'm so
points or
interested
anything?
to read it.
Sorry,
Either
what did
in
you
the
say?
chat or people here, like anything else you want to bring up? Quiet.
Yes, like maybe sometimes someone is writing.
Yeah, perhaps.
So yes, of course, go writing. But yes, like overall, I do feel like I said my thoughts.
Has any of you read any other books by this author? I know she has The City We Became, right? Which is a
Yeah.
more recent release.
Yeah,
I don't know if
there's
she's written
the city we
anything else.
became, the 100,000 Kingdoms,
Oh yeah.
and like Dream Blood because I have.
Yes,
you
there
read any
is.
of those?
There is here in the start.
I'm like 3 chapters into the Killing Moon,
Ah.
which I tried reading
Oh, I
like
do have that one too.
the previous
Mm.
like round of Desertathon, but I was in a massive slump, so I didn't read past those 3 chapters.
Mhm.
But I feel like it's just her way of writing things that everything's confusing because I remember that
Yeah.
book confusing the hell out of me as well. So
Mhm. I actually saw like a lot of reviews, and from the reviews I seen on BookTube, it seems like from the people who read our books, the 5th season is like mostly the most favorite one, and like the others are good too, but not to the amount of the 5th season, because like we all can agree that this is a very impactful book with a lot of really important themes. So yes, it seems like this is from the reviews. Like I saw a lot of people talking about it. So yeah, but I'm not sure if I'm interested to check even more books by her. Like I guess it will depend on what I will think by the end of the trilogy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll definitely read The Killing Moon. I mean, it's a Desert Vibe book, so.
Yeah,
I feel like
don't.
I feel like this series might be one that you either love or you hate by the end.
Yeah.
I feel like there's not really an in between. Like you can't just be okay with this series. I feel like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I have The City We Became on my TBR, but from what I've heard, like it's more impactful to people that actually have lived in New York because it's the different parts of New York personalized, personified, like they're becoming people. So I guess that if you read or you've lived in those cities, that will mean so much more to you than to an outsider. So that's why I've kind of been putting it off. But I'm still very intrigued by that story too.
Yeah. Bye, Kat. Thanks for joining us.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah. With that said, do we want to round this up as well? Start reading on the second book?
Yes, I think like we
Actually,
discussed a lot.
I still have to finish Valor before starting anything else.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Well, you have until we are going to do the second live show in the beginning of December because we couldn't schedule for the end of November, so it will be like a little bit over a month to read it.
Yeah, I think the dates we discussed for the sprints would be the 21st of November.
Wait, I have the dates here. Yes, the 24th Sunday will be Reading Sprints. I think it's on my channel. I'm pretty sure.
We'll announce that. We'll announce where everything is.
Yes, but like on the 24th of November, we will have Reading Sprints, and then on the 5th, 12th, on the 12th, we will have the discussion show. We will, of course, update everything on the Twitter, but just so you know, you have a little bit over a month to read the second book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yes, and Pokemon-a-thon too.
And Pokemon-a-thon.
I think I'm very sneakily. I'm gonna start my my TBRs for those because since I just finished this book yesterday, I can pick up a new book, so might as well be one of my TBRs.
I think I'm just going to because I have the 3rd and 4th books in the Malice series on my TBRs for Desertathon and Pokemon-a-thon. I think I'm just going to scoot them over, so it'll be the 2nd and the 3rd one instead because I still haven't finished the 2nd one and I'm like only 20% in. And I still have like over 400 pages left of that book. So, and
you can include it, it's fine.
The 3rd one is like 770 pages. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Good luck.
And you want to be able to do all of the prompts with different books, Femke.
Yeah. Wait, let me grab it.
Oh no!
In the Pokemon-a-thon, you can double up.
You can't double up for Desertathon.
This is my stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like
this one for November is really big, and like I'm
this
looking.
This one's pretty small.
I have
Do you have anything interesting on there that I've read?
This is a middle grade. Wow, my lighting sucks.
Middle grade usually reads
That's usually really
faster.
fast.
Yeah.
Exactly. This one has huge font and tiny pages.
I'm dying
Nice.
to read Rare.
I really want to read that one.
Yeah.
This is a graphic novel.
Oh, that
Amazing.
works. No, you have 18 days for Pokemon-a-thon.
I know, Lauren, I know.
Oh, I love Saga.
This is another graphic novel.
Saga is
Can I
such a
can
good
I just say
graphic
can I
novel
just say that I
series.
find this funny because Lauren here is the one with the biggest TBR usually. I mean, I remember that photo of your Desert-a-thon May TBR, Lauren. Just saying. I love you,
Well
but I
done.
remember that.
Can we just see how tiny this font is, please? And
no.
it's
Wow.
700. It's over 700 pages of it. So yay!
Whoa.
Good luck,
Good
bro.
luck.
And then I have
Good
this one
Yes.
Ooh,
Maybe
yes, me
too.
too.
because
Yeah.
For the
books, and
Enchanted
then
Book Club.
then I have this one.
Yes.
I actually didn't
I
put the
mean-
Obelisk Gate on my TBR for either readathon.
Yeah, I saw that you did that. Like, oh,
Actually,
forgot.
I put it on my TBR, but I actually plan maybe to read it after the Pokemon-a-thon
Yeah.
because to be more closer to the live show. But I'm a mood reader, so I will read when I'm just
yeah,
feeling
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, I'm just because we have the live show for the third book next week. So technically, if I finish Valor and Ruin this week, it'll be fine.
You can do this. You can do this.
In a week.
If not,
I believe in
mean,
you.
I don't mind
But,
spoilers, like I said before, so I'll just be at the live show anyway, so it'll be fine. But it's
You'll be
it's
just sitting there with question marks surrounding you, like, "Keh?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, to a certain extent, like Malice is more confusing than this book because this book
Yeah.
has a reasonably limited cast of characters, and Malice has gazillions of characters.
Yeah, that's what I
really
meant.
confusing.
have
Yes, when
similar
there is so many
names.
characters.
And I was like, but didn't this person die like last chapter? And it turns out it's like the same name with one different letter. And I'm like, oh right, this is a different person.
Isn't this like the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, it's like on that level.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes,
Oh,
it's
I
hard
remember
when there
that
is so
was-
many characters.
I think it was like King Horn or something. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
That one was also like 60 different characters in like 2 pages.
yeah. I'm not sure.
Wow.
Does this still have like? Wait, let me see.
Charlotte
Yes,
says,
I do.
"Keep
I
talking,
do
be
feel
right
like
back."
the 5th season, like character-wise, were really, really good. There
Yep.
weren't too many characters, and I really love it. So maybe the word and like the writing and everything was really confusing, but at least you know what, like, which
who.
character we are talking about.
Yeah. So this book with the font size that I just showed you has.
I see only white. I don't know what
Yeah.
the book cover is.
Yeah, this is Malice, like the
Mhm.
Malice series.
Yeah.
But like
That's who I think.
it has 10 pages of cast of characters
Oh.
at that font size, which is a lot of characters.
Sorry that I keep running off, but it's Halloween, so I have trick-or-treaters coming to my door, and I don't have any
Oh,
candy.
that's so cool.
They're like
That's really
teenage
cool.
boys. It's not that cute. They just want candy. And I'm like, sorry, I just moved in. I don't have any candy. I didn't even know I get trick-or-treaters.
If I were you, I would like turn off all the lights and act like there isn't nobody home.
Yeah, true.
I
but
am
like,
not home.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just yell through the door like nobody's home, go away.
does that work?
Earth is closed today.
This is a recording, an interactive recording.
If you would like to leave a message, say your message after the beep. Beep!
I don't
Give
think
us
that would
please.
work.
Yeah.
Okay. But
In any
Yeah.
case, we will let you know where and when everything will be on both probably the YouTube videos somewhere.
yeah,
I would say. I
follow
mean, the
Twitter.
sprint is on the
Yeah.
21st, and we'll definitely let you know when the
Mhm.
live show is.
Follow the
And we'll
Yes,
of course
Twitter.
put
it
it on
will be on
Twitter.
the Twitter. Mhm.
Yeah.
But with that said, thanks to everyone that has joined and
Mhm.
been in this discussion with us, and thanks to all the other hosts. It's been a really great
Charlotte
time.
here
and I
was
really
actually
appreciate
scared she would be
talking.
the only one who had read it, Because
Yeah,
you
and I
started
was
it first,
basically
I
the
think.
last one to finish it. Oh
Mhm.
well, Femke finished it last, but
Mhm.
I was
Yes,
telling you.
Esme was the first to finish it, I think. Like
I
the
was on
first
fire.
stars already.
I was
Like,
on
what?
fire.
I feel like
I'm
Esme
so
was one of the
surprised.
last to start and like the first to finish.
Yeah.
I
I am
actually
on
like read
fire.
the book so quick. I read it like I read 100 something pages, and then I read the other pages in something like 3-4 hours because I listened to almost 3 speed because I just listen to audiobooks in 3 speed, like when I'm reading physically. So I just read it really quick and I finished it like in 4 hours.
But that's good. I think it took me like 2 weeks to read a book or something when I
I
look at
think
the
it took
days
me like a
I
couple of days.
practice.
I'm a quick reader. Like I'm a
Yeah.
very quick
I usually
reader.
have
So
2 days.
Yeah.
I've done other stuff.
I'm also a quick reader if I'm in the reading mood, and considering
Yeah,
I've
that's of
been
course.
wanting to escape reality as of late.
Yes, you
Yeah.
read so
Very
many
quick
books
reader.
this month, like so many.
Yeah.
That's good.
Hmm
I think I read like 11 books this month.
That's good.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I read like 6 or something, but 4 of which were in like one weekend. So
Still though,
Also
that's
really good.
impressive.
That's
Yeah.
also really good, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Besides, I mean, if reading is good or not, as long as it's enjoyable, that's the most important thing.
Exactly.
That's fine.
Exactly. Like I read 3
Mhm.
books now in October. I'm just glad I
But you
read.
enjoyed it?
Yeah, but you were moving, so that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
like you were so busy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's good. Okay.
well,
I think with
anyway,
that, yes, let's
thank you
wrap
for
this
joining
up.
us.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the next show in the sprints. And once again, keep a lookout for which channel and when and however that.
Mhm.
So
We will
thank you
announce
everyone.
everything.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining. It's been great. I hope you will continue with following us on this read along, basically.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
And with
Yeah.
that said, let's sign out. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.